What's going on, guys? So today we are working on the truck again, and as you saw in the last video, I had painted my brakes, well, painted the rotors and all this stuff in here, and I also did the back as well, did the back calipers and a little bit of the shield and stuff like that. I didn't do everything because that's something I want to do later on when it doesn't rain every 5 minutes. Well, actually yesterday I had to stop because storms rolled in and trucks stayed outside like this. Everything was drying. BMW also stayed outside, but you guys don't really care about that. You care more about this thing. So, but I've been daily driving this since my brakes have been pretty bad. So yes, I've been daily driving that while I've been putting this truck aside, waiting for the brakes to come in. And as you can tell, this pad was even worse. Now, I usually try and not let my brakes get that bad. However, I took this opportunity because I always said next time I would upgrade my brakes, I would get brakes specific for towing. And that's what I did. Now, the pads, as you guys saw in yesterday's video, were the Extremes K36 or E36, whatever they are. The pads are specific for towing, and I got drilled and slotted rotors with it. It was a whole set and kit, and these things are going to look amazing on this truck. So first thing you want to do, as you can already tell, get your truck up on jack stands or a lift, whichever one you have available to you. I only have jack stands, so my truck is on that. And we're going to do the front first, and we got two 1/2-inch bolts right here to take the caliper off, and then we got to take the mount for the caliper off, and that's going to be two 13/16 bolts behind it. Now these are going to be pretty easy to break off since I broke them loose yesterday, but otherwise it's easier to turn the wheel out, get your breaker bar on the back bolts, and get a pipe and crack it loose. That's what I did. So let's take all this off and get that brand new rotor and pads put on here. Also, to make this a little bit easier, pop the cap off, and I usually let the cap sit up here just so nothing falls in, so this way you can push the pistons back so you can fit the new pads in. So let's go do that now. Holy moly, guys, this looks fantastic. You might not be as excited as I am, but honestly most people probably aren't excited about brakes as I am right now. But I mean, you see where my brakes were, now you see where they're at, and I got the whole drilled and slotted look. Now I did put anti-seize right here because the rotor on the driver's side, I had to heat up, beat on it to get the thing off. Now, I knew I was changing the rotor, so I was okay with hitting it with a hammer. But if you're keeping your rotors, which you might not, I always suggest just change the rotor out. I've never had a good experience with reusing rotors or resurfacing them because underlaying the metal with inside, there could be hidden damage that you don't know about. But otherwise, the front is done. Now let's go do the back. That should be a lot simpler. pretty much the same thing, just two bolts, well, 4 bolts all together. Take it all off, put the new springs in. So let's go do the backs now, and hopefully it turns out just as good as the front did, and I'm really liking how this looks. Now for the backs, the only difference is behind it, underneath the axle where it comes in, there's going to be a little rubber gasket cover thing. It's going to look like this. You're going to pop that off, and you're going to want to spin the wheel to tighten the bolts, because what it's going to do is going to pull the e-brake inward so the rotor itself can slide off. I already did that yesterday, so I haven't retightened them, but when you put on the new ones, make sure to retighten it so then it goes back outwards, so you have your e-brakes when you need them, especially when you're putting a boat in the water, because you don't want your truck going in the water. It does not float like a boat does. Luckily, I've never put something in the water besides a boat, so let's keep it that way, shall we? Alright, let's get to it and put these on. Alright guys, so we just finished up the front and the rear. As you can see in that last clip, I just finished it up. Yes, the sun finally came out, so it's a little bit brighter. And I also got the other side done. So if we walk around here, bam, driver front and driver rear is all done. Everything's adjusted. Now that I have the truck up in the air, everything's all done. I'm going to take this time to rotate my tires, so the back to the front, front to the back. Same thing on the other side. Now I really actually like this kit, because when you buy the front axle or the rear axle, you get the rotor, the pads, the clips, and these little rubber boots. That's why if you saw when I was painting, I didn't really bother masking up these boots, because the kit came with new ones. So got new of this in, new clips, all that's greased. Again, I did the anti-seize right there because this rotor was stuck on before, so I didn't want to get stuck again. But otherwise, this is all done, and if I do say so, it looks awesome. I love it. I can't wait to see how well it's going to perform as well. And I didn't have to paint these blue, but I kind of wanted to spice it up since I knew I was getting nice looking rotors, and I want them to look really good behind the wheel. But otherwise, guys, this job is done. The only thing left to do is tighten that cap down, pump the brakes once I turn on the truck to get all the pistons back to normal, and we will call this finished for this project. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. If you didn't, go ahead and hit the dislike button. But comment down below what you didn't like, what you would like me to change on it. Otherwise, guys, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys later. Bye.